Good evening, cyber friends. It's the Mitty Man coming at you again from Walks Music. We yet another little word for the day. I give God all the honor and credit, give Him all the praise. Dare not take any of His glory from me. And I give each and every one of you, cyber friends, I give you honor and respect where it's due. You see the my tech title should say facts versus fiction. And got a little subject matter that we want to speak on this evening. I'm not going to do a live feed at this moment. I don't do many live feeds. I do on every occasion. I do them, but I believe that live feed in Facebook is pretty good. I haven't had a chance to read any, just a basic minimum or a couple of comments that were made on the video on the live feed that did on the other day, other evening rather. So we don't really know how well it went over, but like I said, people, I was only just speaking the truth and the way I understand it and know it from the Bible. That's the only thing I was doing, and we wasn't trying to throw no dirt on anyone and make nobody look bad. You know, but we must tell the truth. We must tell the truth, just like what now I'm about to do. I'm about to just speak on some things. I've heard about it a long time ago. A long time ago. My great grandmama, she always set me down on the ground and taught me things. I knew how to kind of write a little bit before I even entered school because of my great grandma. And she used to tell me all the old stories that was handed down from generation to generation. Because my great grandma, her mom was born the day after slavery. Her mom was. The day after slavery, that they could, Lincoln declared the emancipation. In other words, my my great grandmama said her mom was born on that day, the day after rather, and so she used to tell me a lot of stories about slavery, and cause she got it, even though her mom was born the day after slavery. Well, you notice that her mom had to be in a slave. So she knew a lot about the slavery and to a degree knew quite a bit about the slave trade. And so the question I heard about these hurricanes came up. Oh, Lord, I tell you, I not can't say that's fact. I can't say it's fiction. But I do know that it's a fact that we are over here, and they got this the slave trade is a documented surety. It did happen, people. It did happen. Slave trade did happen. It's evident it happened. Look at me. I'm over here. You know that I wasn't born over here. I mean, I was born over here. What I'm saying, but my ancestors didn't come from this place. My ancestors, as well as yours, come from Africa, from the west coast of Africa. We were fighting warriors and whatnot before we was. Some say that we was gathered together by our own people that sold us into the shipmasters and the slave owners and whatnot. They sold us. Our own people did that. That's what I've heard. It's a like I said, this is neither fact or fiction, but I'm just trying to let you know some things, educate us on some things in case we didn't know it. Now, it is said that the hurricane that we are having, so many of them in the past, and somebody did a study, and you know what? I did go back and read some more on that. It's a natural fact, people, that we were sold in slavery, and all of us, our ancestors, was packed up like sardines in the galley of these ships, to transport us across the Atlantic, what they call the Middle Passage. The Middle Passage. Look it up on Google. You can find it for yourself. In fact, I would love for y'all to do that. I read essay on, I believe it's called The Hurricanes and We Loving Our Black Sisters, something like that there. I'm gonna find it out and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna find the title out of that essay or that, and then I'm gonna post it and let y'all see it for yourself. But at any rate, the slave trade route from Africa to Americas, the Bahamas and the islands, and then on up in here to the Americas. That slave trade route was exactly the way these hurricanes come into from West Africa, off the coast of West Africa. They start there and they come right across that same route, people. When I saw that, it amazed me. Now I heard somebody else. I can't take credit for that. I heard somebody else talk on that, and I just don't remember who it was that I heard talk on this subject. But they also was the first place I heard it. They were the one I heard this information come from. That these hurricanes that formed on the coast of West Africa and the Atlantic, it comes right across that same route, the what they call the passage, the Middle Passage. They say that them hurricanes follow that same passage that those slave ships came from Africa, bringing us to this new world. And I did the research, people, and I found out, so help me God, them hurricanes come that same route that those slave ships came. And that's no lie. That is a fact. Those hurricanes formed in the Atlantic on the west coast of Africa and comes all the way down into the Caribbean, just like the slave ships did, and goes straight up to the Americas, the Louisiana and the Gulf area. Every one of them do the same thing, just about it. Every hurricane, almost just about all of them, they start on the west coast of Africa and come down in the Caribbean on up into the Americas. And I read, this was documented. It said that perhaps this is Africa's way of saying that I'm taking vengeance on my children that you so brutally murdered in the ocean. You throw them in the ocean. They died on the ships. A whole bunch of our people died on the trip over here. A lot of them didn't even make it. A lot of them didn't even make it. Matter of fact, I don't even think over half of them made it. But they said that those hurricanes are sent out from Africa, maybe perhaps, as a way of saying I'm taking vengeance on my people through our slavery, through our reconstruction, segregation, on up to this present time. Maybe that's Africa's way of getting vengeance on her children that was taken from their land. That's documented facts, people. I can't talk too much on that because I don't know a lot about that subject. But I do know what I have read thus far. And it's a dead gone fact that those hurricanes come and they follow that route. I mean, you can look at it for yourself. Look at and trace the routes of those hurricanes, the way they come across that Atlantic. And if you know the trade, the Middle Passage, if you know anything about the trade route, the slave trade route, and if you look at it, it is exactly almost identical. The way them storms follow across that Atlantic Ocean and go down the Caribbean, come up to the Americas, is the same way those ships did. That's right. The same way them ships did. They came across in that Middle Passage, went down the Caribbean, dropped slaves off down there, came on up to the Americas. That's the exact route that they went. And that is the exact way that the hurricane make their way over. The same way. And their legends say, because see, I don't know this to be a fact. The legends say that those hurricanes were more likely set out by Africa about her children that was done so cruel, treated so bad on that passage over here. So they were thrown in, a whole lot of them were thrown alive while living into that ocean. A lot of them. So who knows, people? I don't know. I don't know. I can't say it for certain, but something is to it, because I do know those hurricanes follow that path across and do just like those slave ships did. Slave ship went down in the Caribbean. Hurricane dips in the Caribbean first, and then it comes up to the Americas. That's the way they do it right now. So you be the judge. As a matter of fact, I will ask all of you to go and do some research on it yourself, and then maybe we all can get together and really know and really see and really just understand what really was going on with the slave trade. And you, all of you know there was a slave trade. Y'all know that, right? But we don't know whether or not that is the truth about this hurricane forming like that and coming across it. But it seems like to me it's a great coincidence that those storms were formed on the west coast of Africa where those ships were and come across just like those ships did. They come across the same way. And it is a known fact that said, in this, I wished I could find the name of that article I was reading. The name of that article I was reading. Okay, it's called "Beautiful Also Are the Souls of My Black Sisters." That's what it's called. That article, you look it up on Google. It's called "Beautiful and Also Are the Souls of My Black Sisters." That's the name of that essay concerning what I'm trying to speak to you about now. But I'm not going to do no live feed on it just yet. I got to do a whole lot more research before I do that. But it's something that you all ought to look into, because really and truly, if you trace that route, that mid passageway coming from Africa all the way down the Caribbean up to the Americas, that is the route that those slave ships took. And out of a doggone it, every hurricane comes and starts on the west coast of Africa and come across that passage the same way that them ships did. And it said, the legends say that is Africa's way of saying that I'm taking vengeance on my children that you took from my land and took them out there and killed them out there in that ocean. And not only killed them in the ocean and treated them like a dog, and then you brought them on over to you got them in shackles and stuff, and then mistreated them so bad throughout all the slavery, throughout all Reconstruction, throughout all segregation up until this present day. A lot of them are still not being treated fairly. Now, people, y'all know me, man. I don't talk with prejudice. No. But we cannot hide facts. You know what? This is going to sound crazy to some of you. But history is history. And all of it's not good. But it is history. That's how come I say I'm not talking on the General Lee and the General Lee and all that. And it's a fact. Those men was figures. Regardless whether you liked them or not, but they were still historical figures. The Civil War did happen. You can't deny that. Ain't no sense in arguing about the Civil War and worrying about General Lee statues and stuff like that, people. That is part of the history. You know what? You can't change that no more than you can change the slave trade. You can't change it. It's a part of history. So what I'm saying here, let us remember this, though. See, this is the part of what I'm talking about. Let us remember the slave trade. Let us remember the Civil War, or as the South calls it, the war between the states. Yeah, I know that too. The war. See, a lot of people saying Civil War, but the South didn't call it no Civil War because they never wanted to be connected. They pulled away from the Union. So the state, the North calls it a Civil War, but the South calls it the war between the states. So in other words, the states had their money. Y'all know, y'all don't study American history, I'm quite sure. Study your American history. The South had their own money at that time. They had their own government. They had pulled away from the Union. It was brother against brother. So now, just like you got all this stuff going on, and I'm not condoning hate. I don't want that. But what I'm saying is, we don't really know the situation as some of them might suppose we know. Because I done heard a whole lot of different stories about slavery. Because like I say, my great-grandma's mom, she was born the day after slavery. Her mom was a slave. So I got a lot of information taught to me at an early age from my great grandmama about what went on during slavery. Oh yeah. But what I'm saying, people, tearing down a statue of General Lee, that's not gonna fix the problem. Me going and burning up a boat that they may have on display somewhere, a slave ship, by me going up there burning up that slave ship, that ain't gonna change nothing. We forget about that. Nothing we can do about that. We got to change the hearts of man. We got to do what we do. That meaning we got to be brothers and sisters. We got to learn to get along with each other and not forget about the past, but remember the past so we will not reproduce it in the future. We need to study about we need to know about the slave trade, blacks and white alike. Need to know about the slave trade so we could keep from doing this and letting this happen again. We need to know about the Civil War, about, well, what was General Lee fighting against General Grant for? We need to know all this stuff. We need to know the real reason behind it. And all of it, people, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know, all of it wasn't about the slaves and about a lot of the things that we think it was about. It might have had a major part. But that wasn't all it was about. That wasn't all that Civil War was about. According to the book that I read. Now, you may have a different book, but according to the book I read of American history, it was a lot more to that war than just slave. Slave was a big part of it, but it was a lot more to that war than just slave. And matter of fact, I know for myself, you know, the black and white have always, believe it, according to my great grandmama, I never will forget it. I can hear it today in my head. Most, not all of them, but most of them got along. Now I'm quite sure you done heard this before. Most of them got along very well. Matter of fact, a lot of times after their emancipation, a lot of them they didn't want to even leave. They had that kind of tight and close relationship with, you know, the slave owners. What if they could do that? If they could want to stay, why can't we just forget about all the hate? Simply this. Let me tell you why. People, we're never going to get rid of all the hate out of our hearts. We got blacks hate white, white hate black, Puerto Ricans hate this one and one, yellow hate the blue one, and the blue one hate the green. We're never going to get rid of all that, people. We're never going to get rid of it. Only Jesus can do that. Now, when Jesus comes, everything's going to be all right. But until then, let those of us who got a clear mind and wants to see this thing through, let us do what we can do. Let us stop talking hate. And let us stop worrying about it. It's all right to study your history and everything, but let us stop talking hate. And then maybe we can make it a little bit better. But really and truly, there will be no peace until the Prince of Peace comes. But we can do the best that we can to ensure that we can have, our lives can be better where we stand. See, I can't help that what happened in Charlottesville. I can't help that. Neither can any white person down here. They can't help what those chosen few decided to do. Because if you looked at the videos and all that, you had a mixture of people all together there, you know, doing they one thing, the neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan and everything. You know what? It's a reality. The Ku Klux Klan is just as much as a reality as the Black Panther Party. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? The Ku Klux Klan is just as real today as it is the Black Panther Party. Now, you look at it, you say, well, are they right? No. Because anytime a one group or a race of people think they more than another, it's all bad. It's all bad. Now that's just the way I see it. I mean, I don't look at no one of them no different than the other. I see all of you look the same because you're inflicting violence. You looking for trouble. Don't you know when you look for something you'll find it? We need to get I feel people. This is what I feel. Me the man just got to be total honest with you. I know that a lot of things happen. Just like I said, taking down General Lee statue, that ain't gonna change nothing. Burning up a slave ship ain't gonna change nothing. You'll just be destroying your history. That's what you're doing when you do that. You just destroying your history. Well, people say, well, Minute Man, some of their history need to be destroyed, but that's not for me to decide. That's not for me to decide. It is a known fact that was a slave trade route from the west coast of Africa to the Caribbean up to the Americas in that Gulf area. We know that for a fact. We know for a fact the hurricane been coming that way ever since. Now, whether or not Africa, the nation, the continent of Africa, is sending out revenge towards his children that she lost when we was on our way over here, I don't know that. I don't have no way of knowing that. But I do know stupidity met with stupidity only leads to more stupidity. That's the only thing Minute Man is saying. I'm not gonna take part in it. I mean, why you gonna base and judge all white people for something that they didn't do? They wasn't back there then, not neither were you. Those was our ancestors. They didn't have nothing to do with that. What are you going? And then I didn't have nothing to do with what the way they treated mine. I wasn't here. We need to stop teaching hate. That's the only thing Minute Man is saying. I'm not saying it was right. No, it wasn't right the way we were treated. Our people were treated very, very cruelly. Very cruelly. I'm not crazy enough to say and deny that fact. We were treated very cruelly. But look what they did to Jesus. Look what Jesus took. But yet and still, Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. That's all I'm going to say about that. This Minute Man saying whatever you get into it, God ain't in it, come out of it. To the next video Bible study, whichever come first. Peace. Good evening.